unbelievable combination.
Wow.
Beautifully done.
What a great spot.
Hello and welcome to the 2025-26 APTA Tour. We are live from the Larendale Club in Towson, Maryland, bringing you the 2025 Baltimore Open, with live streaming brought to you by the APTA membership and our tour presenting sponsor, Corient. Tournament support has also been provided by the following local sponsors: T. Rowe Price, Stiefel, Cushman & Wakefield, Charlene's Houses, MDP Insurance, Xenon Paddle, Ripple Branding, M4 Paddle, SCM Skill Capital Management, Be More Padel, the Larendale Club, Will Power PT, and the Seed School of Maryland. I'm Steve Sullivan with Mike Yahimski, bringing you this men's semifinal match between Nunez and Powers versus Benkaim and Burus. Our chair umpire for today is Andrew Chianos. Mike, welcome to the broadcast. Welcome to Baltimore.
Thanks, Steve. Excited, super excited. My first time in the booth, and really excited to enjoy this match. I've had this kind of circled and during my match prep, and I think it's going to be a good one. You know, every player out there, super dynamic, multiple national championships. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah. So this is men's scoring this year. There's a little bit of a change. So we have the talent. We also have some interesting new drama and suspense this year. Traditional scoring, tennis scoring, men's 2 out of 3 sets. The nuance that the APTA introduced this year, Mike, was no ad server's choice. So that means when you get to a deuce point, the server gets to decide which direction, and that becomes the sudden death point that ends the game. Maybe it's a little bit about, helping, speed up the matches a little bit, but certainly it brings a lot of excitement so far this year. It's been quite interesting to see how it's played out. The team winning that sudden death point has sort of, taken the match with it.
Yeah, it's definitely a different dynamic. I was the guy in the chair for that 5+ hour national final last year. So selfishly, I'm happy that they did the scoring a little bit different this year to try to speed things up. But it adds some drama to the match as well. The different mindset with that kind of golden point, sudden deuce, whatever you want to call it. And you can feel there's a little bit more tension on that deuce point, even amongst the players. Especially this early in the season, I think they're still trying to get used to it. So, definitely an added dynamic.
Yeah, I think in the last couple of years, as I've been, both a fan participating in the commentary, the level of talent that's come into the game. Maybe it's always a current generation thing, but we've had a lot of newer talent. A lot more D1 college tennis players, a lot more some former professional tennis players. So yeah, the matches are going longer and longer, and those reflections of better skills, higher defensive ability. 5 hours is a little much, but yeah, let's see what happens today. Mike, do you want to introduce the players of who's who?
Sure. In the far court, the guy who just hit the ball in the white hat and the black shorts is Sven Burus. His partner on the deuce side that just hit the drive, black hat, black pants, is Russell Benkaim. Near court, who just hit the overhead, black shirt, is Guillermo Nunez. And his partner on the ad side with the, I think, baby blue sweatshirt, pink shorts, is Mark Powers.
So 3 out of the 4, you mentioned this, Mike, at the beginning. 3 out of the 4, I think, have won national titles. Guillermo Nunez and Mark Powers 2 years ago at the Country Club in Brookline. Sven Burus, I believe, won twice with Mick Ordoya. Is that right? Maybe.
I think once in Long Island, I know for sure, with Mick.
Russell's the newer, less experienced player, but I got to say, Russell's one of the more exciting players that's come into the game the last couple of years.
Amazing player, super dynamic, athletic like crazy, hands like crazy. He will win a national title.
And as we just blow through that unreal little hands battle, both Benkaim and Nunez are smiling on the changeover. I think this is probably, if I was to predict how this match plays out, it's going to be a match of flair, highlights, trick shots. Russell Benkaim has probably some of the, the higher levels of talent and spin in the game. You saw, the attempted cutter, but he's going to do a lot with the ball. So the good news for us and the viewers is this is going to be pretty high-paced paddle for the most part.
I think our jaw will hit the floor multiple times during this match.
All right, this is Sven Burus from the near side serving. Really nice positioning of that low volley. Russell Benkaim just sort of let the ball come to him.
Nice little skitter into the snowboard.
Wow.
So the good news about today, Mike, I think we may be the southernmost APA Tour event of the season in Baltimore. I don't think Charlotte's hosting this year. But it's a pretty nice day. It feels like fall. I think we're in the mid-50s. It was a little bit bright with a lot of shadows this morning, but we actually have a really nice overcast day. So really good visibility. It's still probably a little warmer than most people would like for paddle, but I suspect the sweatshirts will be off in a couple games. And versus Montclair and Medina, the first two tour events of the season, I think this is going to be a nice, more traditional speed when the ball gets down to the temperatures that we like.
For sure, yeah, almost real paddle weather. Montclair was tough. I was in the chair for that tournament, and it's 85 degrees both days. It was warm. You could definitely affected the players, and the ball just seemed to stay up, and points lasted a good long time. Hopefully, today will resemble a little bit more traditional cooler weather paddle.
All right, so quick start, 2-0 lead. We have Mark Powers serving. So we talked about Sven Burus's national championships. We talked about Nunez and Powers at Brookline 2 years ago. So I believe Mark Powers won. Did he win with Hughes as well? Let's see. Let's go back and check that. I believe he's won another national title or two.
I feel like he did with Hughes.
Yep, 2018 with Hughes, and then 24 with Guillermo Nunez.
Yep.
So Mark Powers and Guillermo Nunez, I'd say Guillermo especially, but both of them have as much sort of talent from a technical perspective, but they have the ability to play incredibly strategic and slow and patient. Their digging is probably as good as the digging we see on the tour. So I think if you're Burus and Benkaim, you have to figure out a way how to get points, right? And hopefully a quicker pace may help them, but a quicker pace, the match could get away from them very quickly. So it'll be interesting to see how they find a way to sort of either find a weakness or find an opportunity to sort of get a few points and sort of build into this match a bit.
I agree, and they can, Sven and Russell can play both ways as well. And I was watching an earlier match there, quarter against Broderick and Christian, and Sven and Russell played very disciplined paddle. They weren't hitting crazy overheads. They were playing slow from the back. It was funny actually. Tomas and Drew were playing more of an I formation. They can be just as disciplined. Russell maybe gets a little loose sometimes, but Sven, I think he's the captain of the ship, and him playing slow, get Russell to slow things down, and I think that's probably the right strategy.
So I watched a little bit of that. I was standing behind that match, Mike, and I think you're right. I expected Broderick and Christian to sort of go much deeper into that match. I think the score it might have been 2-2.
Yeah, it was.
It felt a little bit fast, and I think it was one of those sort of momentum matches where Burus and Benkaim were playing incredibly well. All the spin, all the sort of cutters were working, but they played probably the most consistent, one of the most consistent teams in the country in Broderick and Tomas Christian, and they didn't miss, right? They sort of, to your point, they played that steady type of match, which you would really want to see from a team with that much talent. A little bit of a pickle point here. This is a little bit of the challenge if you're Benkaim and Burus and you look for that spot in the court, either it's not dangerous or, try and hiding from a big weapon like, in that case, the backhand of Mark Powers, which may be, one of the weaker spots back there. It's a little bit tricky sort of playing that middle of the court. Maybe, the choice between Guillermo Nunez's forehand and Mark's forehand is, I don't know. It's a pick 'em. I think it's
there's not a lot of room for error. Offense both wings, and everyone knows Mark Powers can swing with the best of them. Maybe pick on Guillermo a little bit towards the middle. But same thing. He's got all the shots too. So there are not a lot of safe spots for Russ and Sven. Yeah, and sometimes the speed and the level of the ground strokes is so even. It's almost which ball could you see better? Which ball comes off the paddle in a way that doesn't throw you off when you're at the net? But the volleying ability of all four of these players is so high that at some point it's a pick 'em. In one match, maybe they go to one side. Another match, they find that the other player's a little less confident on the other side. So it's at this level, it's not really like the club level that I play. You can pretty much think about a spot or two in the court which you're not going to get hurt or it's going to give you some errors. It's all right. We're splitting hairs of how to tactically think about picking apart your opponent when you're at the. All right, maybe middle is maybe middle against Mark and Guille is better because the ball's probably going to generally come back middle. So pick your poison. That's all temperature right there. Ball's still a little bit, the pace, to keep that ball on your racket, either defending and hitting the lob or even the volleyer. It's, called 58 degrees right now. That's still a warm ball. So this is one of the opportunities to sort of get some free points is almost challenging the players to defend a really heavy hot ball. Yep. That's a nice little slasher. Nasty.
Yeah, that's nasty. That's vintage Russell. He's got some of the best hands and some of the best spin cutter overheads and sort of kill shots than we see on the tour.
Nice little slick ball into the nick there.
Yeah, so these two, Russell Benkaim and Guillermo Nunez, that shot that you just mentioned, Mike, that's sort of lefty into the ad, righty into the deuce, that really low cross-court slash. In the last couple of years, that's sort of, been the shot that these two hit that's almost the unreturnable shot that we see in paddle. And that was, the one you saw that almost hits the board. They let it come down so low. And Benkaim and Nunez are probably the two best at that shot.
Another nick.
See a nice, natural, comfortable switch. Mark Powers sort of gets the ball. He knows he can put onto the screen. Guillermo just sort of slides up naturally behind him into the court.
Good look there.
Yeah, it's a good look. I think he had Powers and Nunez separated, but he just hit the right spot, just a little bit down the net.
Another one. One of many. Many more we'll see. So Corient is excited to partner with the APTA because whether as advisors to our members or as members themselves, they are already part of the APTA community. Learn more at www.corient.com, the official wealth sponsor of the APTA.
So, Mike, you mentioned being in the chair. Obviously, you do a lot with the APTA, a lot with the umpiring program and the training and development of umpires. We've talked the first couple weeks of the APTA tour this season about all the new technology, whether it's from Court Director or it's from SB, Screenbox Labs that's sort of helping us with the stream. There's not only sort of the automation from the scorer's perspective, but there's also, AI and all these other technologies. What's, as a chair umpire and a lot of your experience, like, what's your take? Like, how's the role of the chair umpire changing? Or, what's your experience like being up in the chair?
I think I'll tell you what, Court Director has really made the umpiring experience. Nice little backhand.
Huge backhand.
Much easier. It's a tablet-based scoring system. You don't have to worry about pencil and paper. Pace of play when you're up in the chair, it's a lot faster than you think. So just being able to hit a button on an iPad and then calling a score is a lot simpler than, having to write the score down, and prepare that way. So from an umpire's perspective, 1,000 times easier. Everything that you have to say is scripted. So all you're basically doing is reading from the iPad. It's great. And all the tools that they've linked to that Court Director with regards to kind of the live stream production, and I tell you, this technology within the last couple of years. I love it. It's definitely improved things tenfold, I think.
Smart for Benkaim. Let that ball go through. Take your medicine and try and get back into the point with potentially your own transition. Sven Burus, a little bit victim of the matrix move that didn't quite matrix.
Nope.
I think you got him on the shoulder there, maybe.
Another victim of that warm weather live ball.
Yeah, it's coming fast. You can really hear Russell Benkaim sort of putting that incredible spin on those forehand rollers. And that's the goal. Be so sort of strong and confident in that, make someone like Sven Burus go for a ball he probably shouldn't go for.
Yeah, I think Sven's the wild card in this one. That Russell can end a point, when he wants, it seems. Sven, he can end points too, but I think he needs to take advantage of the chances he sees.
And that's sort of the mental challenge that you see in some of these matches. You could maybe argue on paper it's a little bit one-sided. Nunez and Powers, obviously, 2 years ago, national champs, and all of the level that they've played in the last 2 years. So Benkaim and Burus may think, okay, we're huge underdogs. I'd say most of the matches at this level, both teams go out thinking they got a chance to win. But if you're Burus and Benkaim, you have to take advantage of the opportunities, right? You have to maybe be a little more risky, take a few more chances,
Yep.
And that either goes your way or it can go terribly not your way.
Yep.
So I think they're taking all the right shots, hitting the balls they should hit, but quick 5-1 deficit. The challenge is not to overly press and paddle.
Yeah, he was on that one. I think he just maybe tried to do a little too much with it.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a tennis volley, right? You can kind of see his follow through, his sort of cut technique. The paddle volley and is very different. Russell obviously comes from a pretty significant pedigree of tennis, growing up at the IMG Academy, playing at Utah. But sometimes those tennis techniques are a little bit working against you, like the especially the backhand volley. It's such a simple, dead-handed shot versus the tennis follow through. So
muscle memory for these guys. It's hard to.
See a lot of cat and mouse type points, just sort of looking for a little bit of a window, not to win it on the first shot, but sort of find that little opening, maybe catch the other team on their heels. But Benkaim and Burus are still looking for a little bit of a rhythm here.
Yeah.
Wow, absolute dead cutter by Guillaume Nunez in the backhand.
Nice little set point there.
All right, we will be right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel with live streaming brought to you by Streamox Labs.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.
Welcome back to the APTA Tour. I'm Steve Sullivan here with Mike Yahimski at the Larendale Club in Towson, Maryland, with this round of semifinals, right? Semifinals between Nunez and Powers versus Benkaim and Burus. Mike, pretty quick first set. Obviously, there's not a lot of places to hide if you're Benkaim and Burus, and not a lot of weaknesses on the other side of the net.
No, I don't think I can't think of one ill-advised ball or very few mistakes that Powers and Nunez had. It's tough to beat. They're tough to beat any day of the week. Never mind when they're playing this clean.
He loves that shot. Just
Yeah.
a touch wide. Yeah, just missed on the sideline. And if you're watching this match, I would say Nunez and Powers, they look more than mid-season form. They just sort of look incredibly solid. They have all the skills, but really kind of playing a simple match. A couple of loose shots like that. Muck Powers probably wants that one back.
I guess that's what the 6-1 first set will do. But yeah, it's good to see Mark out here this early in the season. I know he usually doesn't roll out until a little later. But yeah, it looks like he's in mid-season form, like you said.
So this is week 3, Mike, of the APTA Tour. Our next stop is in Chicago, November 7th through 9th. This is the Chicago Charities event that a lot of people highlight as one of their favorite tournaments of the year. And we sort of move through between now and the beginning of March, where Nationals will be up in Summit, New Jersey. It's still early in the season. There's a lot of the same faces, a lot of the same teams that are performing the other side of the draw. We have Regalado and Salazar against Stojic and Grigorovich. So Baltimore, once again, early season tournaments brought some of the best players out to really kick off the season.
Yeah, Baltimore's a great tournament. I had the privilege of coming down a couple of years ago, and in the inaugural event, and Larendale did an amazing job. The fans there, the food there, had a little Maryland flair with some crab soup and Maryland crab cakes, the whole nine. It was a great event, and word caught on, and here we are, year 3, some of the biggest names in the game, making a trip down there. A nice decent purse, I think, that Sam and Mike get together. So
so absolutely, big shout out to the head of rackets here, Mike Cochran, Sam Byram. They've done a lot of fundraising, not only for the Baltimore community to kind of bring this talent in, but you can also see in the background, Mike, the crowd building in some of the stands. We're going to go all the way through today. It's a one-day event. The semis going on now, followed by the women's finals and the men's finals following that. So it's a full day of paddle. The crowd's been building. The grills are going. It's a great festival-like atmosphere in Towson, Maryland today.
it's a great tournament. It really is.
And our league's down here growing. Sam's also the head of our paddle board on the men's side. And I think we're over 500 men competing in interclub, which every year continues to grow. We added Division 5 this year, which for us is sort of a big deal. Not like maybe Chicago and the Jersey leagues that have so many divisions. But the great part about this sport is, at least in Baltimore, we're sort of in the growth phase, right? Where a lot of clubs are investing in new courts. Roll and Run, where I play, just built 3 new courts. The Elk Ridge Club put another court in this year. And
Awesome.
I've heard of plans at some of the other clubs. So it's just that fun winter social sport that continues to sort of, gather more fans, more participation. And I think this is one of the things that both Mike Cochran and Sam Byram have done to sort of bring and give a little bit back to the community of Baltimore paddle.
Yeah, you can tell the excitement is high. Even on the recruiting side for umpires, everyone does a great job over there. Caroline Pinkin, who's my regional captain there, has done an amazing job recruiting, and I love to see it. The level of excitement for the game down there is awesome.
I think we were talking yesterday. There seems to be more excitement and enthusiasm about the umpiring corps than maybe some of the other events during the season, but everybody and a lot of the people volunteering this week are from the Larendale Club. You mentioned Caroline. There's a lot of the members and players at the club that they talk about this all season long. And they get, as you know, this is a front row seat to the best talent we have in the game. We get all the best players, and it's a really unique experience. So it's certainly attested to all the people that like to come out and help put on this event, not just the sponsors that we talk about every week.
For sure, yeah. To kind of sell umpiring a little bit to those outside of Baltimore, it really is the best seat in the house, like you had said it. Best players in the world. You're 10 feet above a court. It's the athleticism is unbelievable. Even the sound of the ball when it hits their paddle is special. We need umpires in basically every region of the country. So if you've ever had the urge to give it a try, it's a great experience, inside the ropes experience. You can jump onto the APTA website. It's under the Get Involved tab, and then umpires. There's an email address there. Just send an email and inquire saying you're looking to become an umpire, and I'll get you set up with everything you need to get started. And the process isn't super difficult. It's a good amount of reading to start, but if you play the game, it's 95% of it. And then a certification exam, it's 15 questions, multiple choice, things that you could potentially encounter in the chair. So the process is really designed to make sure that you're more than prepared when you do climb the ladder. And like I said earlier, court director has simplified the scoring. I love it. It's a lot of fun. I've got to know a lot of the players. I'm lucky enough to live in New Jersey, where a lot of the pros play out of. I see a lot of them, during league matches, and I like to consider a lot of them my friends. So it's that part of the inside the ropes experience is great too. So give it a try. Come on out.
All right, so we're third game of the second set. Just to reorient the viewers, we have Russell Benkaim here in the near side wearing all black, deuce court, playing with Sven Burus in the ad. And then on the far side, that nasty lefty slash overhead is Guillermo Nunez. Played some college tennis at TCU, I believe, playing with two-time national champion, his partner, Mark Powers.
That is a big serve.
It's a big serve, and you can kind of see how many panels that cut overhead's moving from the back screen into the. Russell has unbelievable racket head speed.
Oh, what a get.
What a get by Mark Powers. I think you might have seen that one coming.
He scraped that one off of the deck.
You got to love the energy and the little positivity from Russell Benkaim there. Sometimes those hands battles, those very close contact points give you a little bit of energy. They give you a little bit of confidence. So the first set was quick, but it's nice to see them snap back and get a 2-1 lead here in the second.
For sure. Nice turnaround.
And these are the sort of momentum swings we see in this game. This game is uniquely fast-paced, but it's also a game of momentum. Sometimes you win a quick first set. It's the kiss of death because the second set's going to be the opposite. So, yeah, this is what I think also someone like Russell Benkaim feeds off energy. He feeds off a little bit of the, trick shot environment. He did teach my son tennis for a couple of years, and I used to love watching them play because Russell would make it very enjoyable. And of course, for my son, a young kid, that's the game, right? So he loves that. He loves that atmosphere.
Yeah, Russell's feeling it now.
See Sven Burus, a little pep in his step.
Got caught cheating a little bit there. Nice volley by Mark.
I think 9 out of 10 times against any other person, that's the right ball to sort of move forward on.
Sure.
But it's Mark Bowers.
Yep. Yeah, Mark's one of my favorite players to watch. Just fundamentally so sound, and hits the heck out of the ball, and has every shot in the book. He's, like I said, probably one of my favorite players to watch.
Well, he's just got everything, right? He's got the experience and the strategic mind, but he's got as much. I mean, firepower. Look at that forehand. Just really snappy forehand.
I was just going to say a little flick of the wrist.
And I think someone like Mark Powers can sort of feel momentum and energy and probably realizes, not giving Benkaim and Burus too much of a leash here is really important. Great move there by Guillermo Nunez.
Yeah, settle things down a little bit.
Just
another warm weather volley there.
Yeah, a lot of movement and whip on that forehand by Russell Benkaim. Sometimes it's tough to keep it on the paddle. Soft forehand, inside out spinner, slowly into the neck. That's got to be tough to watch go past if you're Sven Burus.
Yeah. A little casual chicken wing there. Beautiful.
That's that cross court sort of slash overhead that if you make the right contact low enough, you can. Someone like Russell, Guillermo on the other side of the court can put it into the snowboard probably half the time. These are the points that Benkaim and Burus really sort of are going to use to get that momentum. You can hear the crowd oohing and on a couple of those last 2 points. So feels like a pretty big game that allows Benkaim and Burus to maybe keep a little bit of a lead here. All right, Mike, is this our first sudden deuce point?
I believe it is.
40-30.
Oh, no, 40-30.
No, 40-30. Okay.
Yeah.
AI scored that one quick there. I don't think we've had one yet, have we?
I don't think so.
Andrew Chianos in the chair today. A little quick on the score there.
The beauty of court director.
Yeah, doing a really good job today. Thankfully, there's no big controversy he's had to get involved in at the moment.
You know, those controversies are few and far between, thankfully. You know, the players are generally, you know, good with the line calls. You know, it seems like some of them play balls that look like they're 6 inches out, and they're still playing them. Oh, there it is. 3-2, Benkaim Burus. But yeah, like I said, the players aren't, you know, they're generally really you know, good with line calls, and I find myself not having to overrule too many calls, and that's kind of where the contention comes in. Is you know, when things start is when they get heated. Is you know, when calls get overruled, or the opponents, you know, there's a sense that they're trying to squeeze the lines a little bit, but you know, contention is few and far between, and I think that's what you know, prospective umpires are really nervous about, is kind of that consternation, and like I said, it's generally few and far between.
All right, so far the second set, I think Benkaim and Burus have sort of done what they hoped, change the momentum a little bit, and sort of get into the match, right? Make it more competitive. These scoreboards can run away from you pretty quickly. So yeah, 3-2 lead. I think we have Guillermo Nunez to serve all black. He's coming back on the court right now.
A little ambitious there, I think.
Yeah, and ambitious, and of course Mark Powers put it in the exact spot that Russell didn't want it to go. Two quick points. 3 quick points. You gotta slow this. You gotta slow these games down. It's just you have to fight for every point. All right, let's see if Russell and Sven can slow this game down very quickly. Get 3-all. Really nice patient movement from the backcourt by Mark Powers.
You can hear Russell with every ounce of energy put into those overhead and that serve.
And Russell, definitely a bit of a fan favorite here, right? He was formerly the head of rackets at Larendale Club. Oh, Sven.
It's hard not to. It's hard to hold off on those when you see your guy to your left doing that all the time.
I called one of those points earlier, and it's absolutely you got to hit the guy in the shins, right?
Yep.
Ankle. You got to hit him in the ankles. Burus is retreating. It's not a malicious attempt, right? That's you make that person who's on that defensive backward movement just sort of eat it a little bit. Very nice by Guillermo Nunez. All right, 30-all. A little discussion about, I think, that last call.
Yeah, whether the serve was in or out. I guess that one's out. Oof.
It's like a 3D experience, right? Russell crashes the screen and the camera gives us everything we want to see.
It's like my Dramamine.
Here it is, right? Sudden deuce. Is this what we're going to call it, Mike?
There we go. I think so. I like it.
Server's choice. Russell picks the ad side.
Oh, he's been hammering the ball into that, Nick.
Yeah, that last Mark Powers return, I may have thought deuce, but it's a heavy serve. All right. See the draws here. This is some of the court director and Streambox Labs technology that we're trying to bring. Yeah, we mentioned the quarterfinal match earlier. Benkaim Burus take out Broderick and Tomas Christian. Upset on paper. Yeah, they played great. Broderick and Christian, one of the most methodical, teams on the tour, and Benkaim and Burus sort of played through them. So really nice turnout. Some really good quarterfinal matches earlier today.
It is amazing how deep the men's draws in all these tournaments are. A quarterfinal against Drew and Tomas. That's you could make an argument that's a final any day of the week.
Not much you can do about that.
No.
Unreal.
Amazing move by Powers up the screen, the little overhead smash, and
yeah, the anticipation that Mark Powers just to sort of be in the right spot and put that ball in the court, and that up down slash by Guillermo Nunez is just absolutely dead.
Back of the
right
line.
on the back. A lot of matches, Mike, we talk about the communication between the players, sort of like calling switches, calling mine when balls go down the middle. Interestingly, Powers and Nunez don't seem to communicate a ton, but they sort of move in a way that they're very comfortable in knowing where each other's going to be, right? It's a very natural sort of momentum they have as a team. A lot of teams you hear like every point sort of calling and moving, and these two just look like they're totally in sync.
For sure, yeah. During that, during the time, when they're hitting overheads, there isn't a lot of communication. There's not a lot of talk. There's not a lot of you, not a lot of me. But I think they just kind of go with the natural flow of the ball, and I think that was maybe a criticism by some. There's not one. Not one of those guys is kind of the dominant overhead taker or hitter, whatever you want to call it. They each have has crazy overheads, so each of them could end points. So there's really no need to kind of pick and stick on one side. They're dangerous from both sides.
And it's interesting, right? The lefty righty combo. I'm a lefty as well. Sometimes it creates a little bit of doubt on the center ball, or you have to, as a team, sort of decide I'm going to take that ball because we're going to attack the ad side, right? So that's the right ear. I'm going to take that because we're going to attack the do side, me as the lefty. You'd think there's more optionality, but they sort of know each other's role. And yeah, they play as equals. It's not like there's a dominant player between the two of them, but they're just sort of natural in how they play as a team. And of course, I say that a little bit hearing the court next to us with Regalado and Salazar, who are very vocal, very active. Tuya, Cambia, like you hear the, calling of the ball, the changing of the sides. And it's equally as effective, but I think the experience with Mark Powers, I think he just gives Guillermo Nunez a sense of calm.
Yes, for sure. I play a lot of paddle with a lefty, my buddy Ray Crosta. We're very good communicators on the court. He tells me what to do and I listen. Most of the time.
To state the obvious, it not only feels like a big point, but it is a pretty big point. They just grinded. Two really high-level games by Nunez and Powers. Just sort of took what was probably a pretty neutral set and feels like they got a little momentum there to go up 5-4.
Yeah, all those overheads, a lot of spin, put in spots where Sven and Russell just couldn't do anything with them except throw them up in the air.
Yeah, you can hear all that cut in the ball, not just Guillermo Nunez, but from Mark Powers. And as defenders in the backcourt, you end up spending all your mental stress figuring out how to redirect that ball, keep it on the court. It's very sensitive. These guys are making it look incredibly easy, but keeping that spin and neutralizing it and offsetting it to keep it on the court is a very difficult exercise. You can see, a little more of the same, and Russell Benkaim a little bit put in the spin cycle there.
Yep.
And these are the tricky warm weather points where the transition's about 2 steps behind the service line, and those balls are coming really hot off the back screen.
Almost looks like Mark kind of baited Russell on that one, purposely hit it there to see what Russell would do with it.
Yeah, I think that was a 1 step by Mark Powers behind the service line to chase that ball. That's what you call holding the ball on your racket till the last second. Vintage Mark Powers, love it. Triple match point.
Fought off one.
Wow.
Well, I hate to say it, but I think Rustin and Sven ran into a bit of a buzzsaw on this one.
Absolutely. And, you know, I think I made a comment earlier. This is week 3 of the APTA Tour. Powers and Nunez sort of looked mid-season. They looked late season. They just made it look easy. It was pretty comfortable. Mike, I really enjoyed it. You know, as a former classmate of yours at Providence College, nice to reconnect via paddle and via the APTA.
For sure.
Any final thoughts? Any final thoughts on the match?
I'm looking forward to the final. We'll see. I think, you know, with the way Mark and Guille are playing right now, you know, I want to see more of that.
Absolutely. So stay tuned. The other men's semi is still streaming, and we are going to be followed up by the women's finals and the men's finals. We're going to continue our day here at the Larendale Club in Towson. That's a wrap.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there.